Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. From Roma-Juve in Serie A on Sunday until Juve-Atalanta Coppa Italia final on the 15th of May, 11 days of fire, where a lot will be decisive. Everything needs to be closed in these 11 days. For what reason? To really start activating and starting to work on the future of Juventus. Because as we speak, now there are still a lot of doubts. Not a lot of things are certain and we need to accelerate. So we'll speak about Thiago Motta. We'll also speak about the doubts and the legit questions that Juventus is asking themselves regarding the future of Max Allegri. Today's super interesting article on Tuttosport with 5 reasons why Juventus could possibly think to keep Max Allegri one more year, and 5 reasons why deciding to stop with Max Allegri. Super interesting. We'll go towards all these points and much more because we also speak about transfer market, so it can be, and it will be, a super interesting video. Maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe, commenting, and trying to boost this channel to reach 30,000 Juventini as soon as possible. If you have a bit more time and if you're interested in Champions League, you know we have a second channel, Football, where we already uploaded a beautiful video this morning. Now we start with the rumors, because a lot of us, we go towards a certainty. Thiago Motta will become the new coach of Juventus 24-25. Max Allegri will stop with Juventus at the end of this season. 90% of the people, they are convinced about it, especially if we are listening to the experts. Fabrizio Romano, Romeo Valgresti, Juventus is speaking about it. Pedro Almeida, a lot. We were speaking about it a few days ago. I saw some YouTube channels that already started with "Don't deal." If you are listening to the words of Gianluca Di Marzio, that is from Sky, you can go towards it. But pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. You remember Felipe Anderson? Don't deal. The day of the announcement of him going to Palmeiras, I made a video. Where I said the first one, because I was convinced. The experts, they were all convinced. They were going towards Felipe Anderson is the first signing of Juventus 24-25 for free. A player that could help Juventus going towards a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, whatever, a rotational player that can play there on that right side of the field. At the end, nothing happened. And that's why journalist alla Rudy Galetti, that is fighting alone against everyone, still saying, hey, pay attention, there is at the moment no certainty about the future of Thiago Motta. Because today, nothing has been decided yet with any club. He will meet Bologna in the next few weeks and then he will take a decision with President Saputo, Joe Saputo, that is the president of Bologna, that has a dream. When he joined Bologna years ago, he wanted to arrive in the possibility to play for Europe and even maybe one day to play for the Scudetto. A lot of people joked about it. A lot of people were mocking him. Look at what he's doing now. He needed this time. Step by step by step. He even avoided relegation 1 year with Sinisa Mihajlovic. Rest in peace, always remembering Sinisa Mihajlovic. But look where he is now. So he was not joking. And now his ambition is for 2027 renewing the Dallara, the stadium, but also to continue to grow year on year on year. And one of his dreams is doing it together with Thiago Motta. That's his dream. He wants to open a cycle together with Thiago Motta. So it's not a certainty that he will join Juventus at today. And again, I link to Felipe Anderson. Nothing is certain until you have the official publication from Juventus, the official announcement from a club. That can be Juventus or another club. Rudy Galetti is still fighting with another source that he has, and he's one of the only one that is speaking about it, but with a lot of confidence since October. He's saying there is one plan at Juventus, and there is one plan in the mind of Antonio Conte. Forget about Napoli, forget about Milan. The guy, he wants to go only to Juventus. He has only black and white in his mind, and Juventus also, they want to go for him. So Antonio Conte is still there. I don't believe it at today. At today, I'm going towards the credible sources, the big ones that are going towards Thiago Motta. But I don't want to believe too much and tell you here on the channel, don't deal. Thiago Motta is a bianconero. And no, because I already made a mistake. Stupid, after 4 years of a channel, I made a mistake. Felipe Anderson don't deal, he's the first one. And it didn't happen, so I don't want to give you false hope. So better to wait a bit instead of going totally crazy. And that's why at the moment, we still don't have the qualification in Champions League, and we need to accelerate. These 11 days, they will give a boost. And if we can already win against Roma on Sunday, that gives us a way better perspective. And it anticipates even more the 11 days, because then the Coppa Italia, you win it or you don't win it, will not change the plans of Juventus, because we already qualified for a Supercoppa. That will not change. That will not be the most impactful in the balance of Juventus' decision. The qualification in Champions League, absolutely yes. Because if we are looking at the new management, since they arrived at Juventus, there is one driver, one motto. It's not even a secret. It's painful, it's not beautiful, it's not nice, but it's publicly announced that every decision that has been taken since the new management are driven by one thing, one word: sustainability, finances, the money, pesetos. That's what is at the moment, unfortunately, driving every single decision. Players, coaches, etc., etc. Let's go to the 5 reasons pro keeping Allegri, against keeping Allegri or sacking Allegri. What are they? Look, I went through all of them from Tuttosport. The 5 reasons pro, they are all legit. They are all valid. You can like them, you can not like them, but I believe they are all valid in terms of the points. Then you go towards the 5 points that are in sacking Allegri, and they're all legit. They are all valid. Then, of course, you need to put them in a balance. I'm a Libra, you know that I always love it, the 360 degree, and that's probably why I really love that article, that it's not going only towards one side or the other side, but I like to check and then taking my own decision. And in this video, I will tell you, after the 5 pro, 5 contra, I will tell you what I would do personally. So let's go. The doubts of Juventus. What are the doubts of Juventus? The money. That's one. Why keeping Allegri? 5 first points. The first one. Non manca gli obiettivi. Written in Tuttosport. He never missed the objectives. Can we debate about it? Can we speak about it? No. Then, did he miss the objective of winning the Scudetto? Yes, but was it the objective? No. Go back to the words of Scanavino, John Elkann, Giuntoli, and his own words. Objective has always been, this season, reaching qualification in Champions League. Last year, where we didn't do it, he was able to reach qualification in Champions League. You give him an objective, and he is reaching it. They discuss, they agree, they reach it. Is the objective that the tifosi, that the supporters are loving? Absolutely not. But at least you know that he's in certainty. We know what are our real objectives to survive, to accelerate, to come back. You remember the date of 26, 27 being balanced with our books, which is the big driver today. Well, we have these objectives. Max Allegri, in a way or in another, well done, not well done, losing, winning, is always reaching them, which at the moment we didn't yet, but we should. That's one. Secondly, sa navigare nella tempesta. He can navigate in the storm, and that's a reality as well. That's why I will always have immense respect for Max Allegri, for the 5 first year of his first cycle, and secondly, for the 2 first year when he came back, because it was a real storm, and he has been used like an umbrella man. I'm the umbrella. I'm the front man. I was speaking about it yesterday during the live, and I will repeat it endlessly. According to me, he did a fantastic job in saying, you know what, I don't care. Throw shit at me. I'm here. At least you leave Juventus alone. At least you leave the players alone. Give it on me. Sometimes you're correct. Sometimes you're not correct. I don't care. Give it on me. I will be the face of that. And he can navigate in pressure, in the storm. He always take that ship, and at the end, he brings it in port. He brings it there where he needs to be. And it's a reality. Having a man like that is always important in a club, in a company. Someone that knows if there is suddenly a storm, he knows how to stay at Juventus. He knows the club more than everyone. He's there since 8 years. Third point, sa reggere le pressioni. He can resist to all the pressure. Because, with all the respect to Bologna, and listen to the words of Thiago Motta, for example, that said, we don't have to qualify to Champions League. We don't have to compete to Champions League. The pressure is on the other ones. The other clubs, they need to do it. What we are doing is bonus on bonus on bonus. Listen to that. We can play with a free mind, which at Juventus you don't have. from day one that it's Max Allegri or that is another coach, you don't have the luxury. Even if you say publicly, our objective this year is top 4, people, they don't care about that. You have a lot of pressure that you are a player, that you are a coach, that you are a management. Supporters are pushing. From the management himself to the last of the supporters, the casual supporters, they are putting pressure on you. If you fail one pass, if you fail one game, if you fail one, you are finished. You are done. And Allegri always showed it. I put my face on it, as I told you about navigating in the storm, also about pressure. He's someone that is always telling you, I love pressure. It's something that motivates me. 4th point, and I know that in this part of the video, you're pissed off with me. I understand. First of all, I'm not the one that's written it, but I'm reading and reporting you what has been written from Tuttosport. So be indulgent with me. 4th point, lo devi comunque pagare. You still, whatever you take as a decision, you still need to pay him. And that's the important one, referring also to the decisions that are taken today financially, more than sporting project. Whatever you do, you still need to pay him. And they are calculating more or less 18 million euro gross. On top of that, you have a new coach, a new technical staff that will cost you towards the 6 million euro to keep it cheap. So for the people that are still thinking about Zinedine Zidane, forget about it. And 5-6 million euro gross for a new emerging coach with his staff are not a lot. Can Juventus pay that? Of course they can. But what if it goes totally wrong? We have no evidences today that it can work. What can work with Allegri reaching the minimal objective? We are not sure that another coach with the pressure, with the amount of games that will be played next year, we don't know if it will work. That means that you need maybe to sack another coach and going for another profile, which is unthinkable at the moment. That could be a reason why Juventus is today thinking. And then the 5th one, he can adapt to every situation. And this is correct. It's not someone like a lot of time we commented that goes towards that false myth of I play only with 3-5-2. It's not true. He played in, I believe, since I know him, Sassuolo time, Cagliari, Milan, Juventus, he played with every single possible formation, I believe. 3-5-2, 4-4-2, 4-2-3, whatever. Invent a new formation, you're sure that he will play about it. He's a coach that never asked for, or at least he asked, of course, he asked for some players. But from the moment that he has them, yes or not, he adapts to what he has. Then it can make people happy, make people unhappy, but he's looking the best one that he has in his mind, and he's trying to play with them, not regarding a module or way of playing, but according to the players that he has at disposal. Also, it's a coach that is always corporate. You want to go to USA for the tournée? That is not the ideal solution. Let's go to USA. You want to do this? Let's do this. You want me to go towards that communication style? Let's go towards that communication style. And someone like that in a corporation, especially in difficult moments, is always an asset. And these were the 5 points. If you're objective, and if you don't take Allegri out, I hate Allegri, are these points true? They are totally true, I believe. Now we go towards the 5 points in sacking Allegri that I told you are as valid as the other ones. First, the feeling of the end of the cycle. Can we debate that? No. We all have the same feeling. The feeling of the end of a cycle. And if last year we had maybe the same feeling, we could use as a context, we could explain about the season was a disaster off the field that impacted a lot on the field. Yes, I know about the first results. The first result without the minus 15 points that were a disaster. Champions League out, losing against Maccabi Haifa, losing against Monza. All these things happened before the minus 15. But you still have a season to compete with, and you never know what can happen. Remember, 15-16 season, a total disaster, and then you win the Scudetto. Not that we would win it last year, but you never know. Because at the end, we went in the fight against, at a certain moment, Napoli, Inter. There was a possibility to reopen it. We failed. But we have that feeling more and more that it's really the end of the cycle. We see it in these last 13, 15 games. It's not that the players are against Allegri, because when you're listening to the interviews, they are not obliged, but they speak well about Allegri. Even Vlahovic, Cambiaso, everyone is speaking extremely well about Allegri. The relation in terms of human perspective is there. Now, there is one thing, is the human perspective, the fact that he's defending a lot of players in front of microphones. Listen to the last words. He's always saying, don't blame the guy for their will of trying to do, for what they are putting, for the desire. Don't blame them. Don't blame the guys. This is always repeated by Allegri. But you really feel that there is the end. There is the end of the cycle. You feel the end of the cycle and a divorce from both sides. The club feels it, the coach feels it, the supporters are feeling it, and that's the first one. The second point is the proposition of play. La proposta di gioco, the way of playing. We don't score a lot. This season we'll probably not even reach what we did, and it was not a great one last year. Goals, but also defending in a lot of games where we were not defending really well. We are not giving a lot of value to the way of playing for the strikers, for our offensive players. It's not about you don't like the way of playing. You can be balanced, you can be defensive, but even in defense, there is an art of defender that you can't find anymore in this Juventus. You know that you are extremely fragile, except of moments of the season, and because of that defensive style, you are obliged to ignore a bit what is happening up front. And that is not working. People are complaining about it, especially if you're looking at some games where the big word that is coming more and more and more, especially for the aesthetic of calcio, is boring. It is boring. It is annoying to watch a lot of games. A team that has more and more difficulties to put that grinta into the field. We see it. And it's true. Second point. The third point. Rapporti tesi con alcuni big. The not excellent relationship with some bigs of the team. Now, it happens in every single team. When you're a coach and when you are leading 25, 30 players on top of a technical staff, on top of, you can't make sure that everyone is loving you, is adoring you, is going perfectly fine with you. It's impossible. Jurgen Klopp, Salah, we saw recently, but how many of these things are happening everywhere in the world? Well, Federico Chiesa and Dusan Vlahovic. Federico Chiesa, we never heard a lot speaking about Max Allegri, but Vlahovic, even if speaking well about Max Allegri, we know that in terms of proposition of play, in terms of he's expecting more, he's asking for more. It's not ideal. And when two of your bigs, and probably your two biggest one, we don't see that huge affinity with the coach, well, at a certain moment, it's not that you lost the locker room, but it's an important one. If you are not able to let your two biggest players work and finding an affinity, you're asking yourself, what should we do? Fourth point, avrebbe bisogno di una rosa diversa. He would need a diverse team than Juventus. How many times did we speak about the fact that Max Allegri, if you are objective, you can't be from one day a really excellent coach and then the other day you are not. One that is able to win 6 Scudetti in his entire story, 5 Coppa Italiana, and so on. No, 4. We are in the final now. You can't. From 11 trophies with Juve to be at 0, forgetting everything about football. It's impossible. But we always say that Max Allegri, in his vision, in his way, is more a manager, a people manager, un gestionare, one that is managing also champions, to let them do what they want up front. Listen to the words of Carlo Ancelotti that said the coach. The coach is there to actually do less damages as possible, because at the end, the players are going on the field. The quality is speaking on the field. Look at Ancelotti going to Everton and Napoli with 0 results. Look at what he's doing with Real Madrid. He's winning one after the other, Champions League titles in La Liga. You see, sometimes it's just not the team that is the best one for your fundamental, for your idea of football. He said it, I love technical players. And probably at the moment, we don't have them. And probably Juventus will not be able, from one day to another, to give him back that team in 24-25. And that can be also a reason we can't satisfy your ideology of football. The players, the technical players that you would love to coach, they are not there. We can't spend for them. So it makes no sense to continue. And then the fifth point, è fortemente diviso tra I tifosi. It's a big, huge split between the supporters. We know it. You have the Allegri out. that were there since long. It's not that they became now trendy or it's there since long, but more and more and more they are vocal, stronger. More Juventus is doing bad. More Juventus is not able to offer what they are requesting. More it grows. And then you have the Allegri in, or the people that are a bit more balanced, that are saying yes, but. But today you can't speak about Juventus anymore without Allegri. I put a video online where I don't mention the name Allegri, and you will see insults. Coward, clown, cancer, these kind of words, speaking about the person, why we are not even mentioning him one time. Today it's impossible to speak about Juventus without fights, one against the other. And also here, the channel is heard about this discussion, and it's a pity. And we know it, at a certain moment, you can't go only towards what the supporters want, but you need to take it also into consideration at a certain moment. 5 pro, 5 contra. What is my opinion? I will not come back on all of this because I agree with the 5 first and with the 5 second. I agree with all of them. I believe that the 5 first ones were bigger in the balance than the other ones in a year 0, where we are in today. I believe that year 1, that will not be perfect, don't dream about it, whoever comes, but I believe for year 1, that the Contra are waiting much more than the other ones. So for a year 1, you need really to take into consideration the Contra, that are much more impactful than the other ones. The storm is gone, hopefully. It's gone. The pressure will always be at Juve. If you want to be at Juve, hey guys, you need to understand what Juve is. And maybe a Thiago Motta knows perfectly what Juve is. And Antonio Conte, for example, if you want to give another, he knows what pressure at Juve is. Other coaches, I don't know. So according to me, we should stop. For the good of Max, for the good of Juve, for the good of the players, for the good of the supporters, for the good of everyone, I believe it's the best decision. Then, if the club decide to do something else, we will try to understand and we'll try to support Juve. Or at least I will try to support Juve. I will support Juve as I always do. The only thing that I'm asking is one thing. Juventus, be clear. Be clear in what you want. And have a clear plan. Whatever decision you take, be clear. And don't do like Milan. That was about, or there was apparently 2 days ago, a contract with Lopetegui. Then suddenly a bit of a online petition, a bit of protest here and there, and they stop and they go back. No. Because that means that you don't have clear ideas of what you want to do. If you believe in something, you need to go for it. Only if you believe in something, then something will work. If you are not convinced and only a shitstorm of 2 days will change your opinion, that's not great. That's not what I want for Juve. I want Juventus that you go for it. Like, and sorry for the long video, like today we see Juve, Samardzic is again increasing in terms of appeal, in terms of a possible candidate for Juve. Great. But then you see Samardzic is on sale because Udinese could potentially go in second division. And no. That's not clear idea. Giuntoli, you like the player, you love the player, you want the player, you are convinced about the player, go for him. If you have doubts, but it's because he's on sale, then you don't go for him. Then you go for someone that you believe in. Against everyone and everything. But you need to believe in him. And that's super important. Calafiori, is that your priority? You are convinced about him, you want to go for him, go for Calafiori. But not maybe yes, maybe no. Super important. Like I'm asking also that from the moment that we qualify to Champions League, Adrien Rabiot can give us an answer. I'm not saying publicly, but at least to Juventus, an answer, a clear answer. From the day that we qualify to Champions League, if it is at 11 p.m. of Sunday against Roma, I want Rabiot to say, Giuntoli, meeting Monday. Yes, I want to stay. Let's speak about it. Or no, I don't want to stay. Let's speak about it. And we stop. Or we continue. Not after the Euro, not before the Euro, not at the end of the season. Now, then that Juventus makes it public or not, I don't care. But at least that they have convictions. Only that. Ugarte is a new name. Paris Saint-Germain played 23 games in Ligue 1, 8 games in Champions League, 50% of starts in Champions League. It's a player that doesn't find his spot. Good player from Sporting. Last year they paid him 60 million euro. Juventus can't afford a player like that. They're maybe thinking about an idea Ugarte on loan. No, you are convinced about the player. You think that it's a good one. Okay, go for it. Not maybe on loan, we are not sure, we want to test. If it's to test a la Alcaraz, no thank you. If it is Ugarte, we are convinced, we go with a loan with an obligation to buy or with an option to buy less than 60 million that you paid for him because we believe in the 23 years old, go for it. But that's what I'm asking. Otherwise, we will do mistakes. Otherwise, if we wait, and we have not a clear-minded idea, we will sell a Huijsen, we will sell a Soule without knowing what to do. We just sell them because we need money. No, we need money always. Yes, absolutely. But we should be master of destiny. If we sell Soule, if we sell Huijsen, it's because we decided. That's important. Oh, guys. Oh, I started to be totally crazy at the end of the video. Super long video. I hope you enjoyed it because I think it's a really important one. Maximum of like, maximum of comment. Grazie, forza. Juve.